Alright, so decorating a living room, mostly in an apartment, can feel really tricky with limited space, especially if you're renting. I get how frustrating it can be, but no need to stress. With just a few simple, affordable, and practical tricks, you can totally make it work. I'm going to walk you through some examples that I believe they have nailed it. Then I'll break down exactly how they pulled everything together so you can try things and recreate them yourself. Let's get going. So the most obvious challenge in a small living room is the limited square footage. But at the same time, it can be tough to fit all the furniture and decor that you want or you have in your small living room without making the room feel cramped. Oversized pieces in particular can overwhelm a small space. And I know that most of the time we do not have many options and we need to work with what we have already, like finding a piece of furniture that is both practical and also stylish at the same time can be really tricky. So when it comes to a small living room, I really focus on choosing or keeping pieces that are slim and super functional. That way we can easily make up for the lack of beauty with a bunch of other decor tricks. Like in this photo, while the sofa, at least to me, it doesn't look super trendy or stylish. Honestly, even the color seems a bit off from their color scheme. But they have still managed to pull the decor together by decorating this space around it. So the functionality of the main furniture pieces, like the sofa in a small living room, is the top priority, period. I just wanted to get that settled right at the start. Now, let's move on to the fun part, which is the case studies. So case study number 1. They have nailed it here by creating a space that feels intimate and charming and is also very well thought out despite its size. First off, it can be really tricky to showcase your personal style in a small space without it feeling cluttered. I really want to acknowledge that because I know how hard it can be. They have covered essentials like the sofa, chairs, table, storage, and possibly a TV on that wall or maybe on top of that storage unit, although we cannot see it in the photo. Then they have added pillows, lightings, plants, and more, which give the space so much character. I also like it that they have used different lightings here, although I don't quite understand that lamp there. I mean, it is so random, but I think it is probably only for the sake of this photo because this one and that little pot over there, they do not really make sense to me in this photo. But anyways, the whole color palette is really nice and cozy, which I believe that it has created this warm and very inviting atmosphere. You can tell that they have stuck to a solid color scheme throughout, which adds to the overall harmony really. I can also see the references in different pieces, like from the cushions to the rug and even the furniture. Like each element fits together nicely and ties everything in beautifully. I love places where people care enough to install curtains. This kind of thoughtfulness, not only it looks good, but I also think it makes the place feel more intentional. But unfortunately, I am not completely at peace with visual balance here. I think the plants could definitely be laid out better. Like right now, it feels a bit chaotic. The composition could improve just by moving this big plant out of the way. It is too large for that corner. It is blocking the gorgeous view of the city and it looks heavy and bulky and its charm is lost in this setting. If you ask me, it would be much better appreciated in the opposite corner next to the other plant. Plus, people cannot move easily between the furniture to get to that balcony from that corner. Instead, I would put that beautiful floor lamp over here to get it out of the way, along with that cute pink side table just next to it, right behind the sofa. Look, good decor in a small space is supposed to solve most, if not all of the challenges that come with it. How? By focusing on how the room looks and also making sure people feel comfortable and happy there. In some spaces, you've got another limitation beyond just the small size, those built-in storage units. They can be either a blessing or a bit of chaos, to be honest. On the plus side, they can help keep things neat and organized and give you that sleek, clutter-free look that they appreciate a lot in a small space. I mean, that is the goal. But they can also box you in and limit how you arrange the room or add your personal touches. The key is making them work for you. And same goes for any big pieces of furniture that you're sort of stuck with. So use them smartly to store the essentials so you can keep the rest of the space open and airy. You can try styling them with books, decor pieces, and plants like they have done in this photo to inject some personality. This small living room is put together so well. It's got that perfect mix of art, greenery, and practical design that makes this space feel super cozy and elegant. The big artwork that is gently lit by the picture light, very beautiful detail. It grabs your attention and gives the room a playful and artsy vibe. That low bench along the wall, of course, doubles as storage and display that they have taken advantage of beautifully to store their books and frame pieces off to the side. Plus the art and tray add personality with just the right amount of layering to keep things looking minimal but still very interesting. That plant on the side really stands out as a focal point in this space. I love it because it is big but blending in effortlessly. The choice of art is also clever. It is not too busy or dark, which would have made this space feel cramped. And they have carried that clean, white look through to the soft elements like the sofa cushions and the bold pattern rug. It's all about contrast here with mostly white and just a touch of black that is used sparingly but intentionally to add to the visual interest. Like the little black stools add a touch of sculptural charm, if I may, but at the same time they are doubling as extra seating or side tables. They are stylish, they are functional, and they are not taking too much space. Space is all about perspective. Decorating small spaces can be challenging for sure, but let me tell you, if you have ever had to work with a larger space, that can be even trickier because you really have to think about how to fill the big area while keeping everything cohesive, which is not an easy task. Decorating larger spaces is a whole different ballgame. So if you have a small space, be thankful and work on the cohesion. And boy, if you want to see what a space that lacks cohesion looks like, check this out. Oh my god. Like nothing really goes together with nothing here. This is neither beautiful nor practical. And honestly, I wouldn't feel comfortable living here. It just bugs me. I mean, if I had to spend time in this place, I would struggle to sleep at night knowing that it feels so chaotic. And it doesn't even look messy, but there's definitely a sense of disorder. Like, what's that rug even doing there? This just goes to show that having a bigger space doesn't automatically mean that you will create a more beautiful decor. Anyway, let's move on because this topic is for a whole other video. Back to this, what really stands out in this space is the thoughtfulness behind every choice. Like each piece is both practical and very appealing. So to me, it is a great example of a very well-balanced design. For small spaces, it's a good move to keep the walls, drawers, trims, and ceilings all the same color. Something like a warm white works a treat. But if you're after a bit of drama, a deep, rich tone can do the trick too. Generally, light colors like white, gray, or soft neutrals make the room feel brighter and more open. And darker tones are generally better kept for small accent pieces to only add a bit of character. Although many people say to stick with light colors on the walls to make a room feel larger, and yet that can be true in a lot of cases, but it doesn't always work for every space. Like you really got to look at the potentials of your room. I would go case by case. Like in this example, it's technically not a living room, but I just wanted to show you how going bold and maximal can sometimes work even better. In this photo, they have added personality through the wall color or patterns in the wall color, plus artwork, upholstery accents, and pillows. This is a much smaller space, but the designer did an amazing job turning this small room / hallway into a space that is both very beautiful and is extremely practical. They have balanced pattern, texture, and color just right. That floral wallpaper and the layered textiles like the velvety purple daybed and pattern rocks, they all add character and depth into this little room without making it feel too much. Just remember to check out my video on character in house to understand what I'm talking about. If the living room shares space with other areas, consistency in colors and design elements make the space cohesive. Overall, the room feels intimate, stylish, and well organized. Okay, let me take you to another small living space that I liked. The layout of this space is really beautiful. The plants, lighting, cushions, and throw blankets all come together to create this lovely vibe. It is great to see different textures at play in both the furniture and fabrics as well. The color scheme is harmonious, which has made the whole place feel cozy and comfortable. It really gives off a homey atmosphere, which is perfect for relaxing or entertaining guests. The storage in this place seems to have kept everything neat and tidy. Like all those little gadgets and wires are tucked away nicely, which really helps the living room look polished and put together. Overall, this is a nicely curated space that feels comfortable and definitely a space that you would want to hang out in. But there are also a couple of sore points that stand out. This lamp and that stack of frames. First off, this lamp over here, it's a bit of an overkill. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. The plants look great in that corner, but with that floor lamp, there is just too much going on, especially with that big TV taking up space. It really feels cramped, at least to me. Check out my video on balancing space and you'll know what I'm talking about. When it comes to choosing between lighting and plants, I would always pick the plants. They are hard to find the right spot for, and if they look as good as they do in this photo, I'd leave them be. These plants deserve their spotlight. But as for lighting, there is always more flexibility there. You could use wall lights or some stylish downlights instead. I would recommend some nice downlights with a couple of adjustable heads, one directed at the artwork and the plant, and the other one as a general downlight if you are worried about the dark spots in that corner. But I would definitely get rid of that floor lamp. However, I'm thinking about all scenarios here. If you're stuck with it, it has a sentimental value, like it has come down generations and now it's yours, I'd suggest finding a better spot for it. Definitely not in this corner. Maybe place it behind the sofa where the photographer is standing. I mean, the lamp's legs aren't the most beautiful, so hiding them wouldn't be an issue really. This other lighting here, I don't understand, not necessary, would get rid of it immediately. Now, about that stack of frames. I love layering, but this feels a bit excessive. I mean, if you cannot hang things on the walls because you're renting, that's fair enough. But then I would suggest using smaller frames or maybe moving that plant over and the big frame on the floor to balance things out. I mean, what's even the point of having a big frame if you can only see about like 20% of it? Just get rid of it and leave that little one on the table. That's fine. So there are so many examples and details when it comes to decorating a small space. I could chat about it for ages, but I really didn't want to make this video longer and possibly boring. So if you found this helpful, just let me know and I'd be more than happy to whip up a second part because there is still plenty more to cover. I have got a whole bunch of images that I would love to discuss. I hope that these ideas gave you inspiration and got you thinking about your own decor. Also, I'm curious, do you mind if the videos run longer, like 20-30 minutes, covering more points? Or do you want me to keep them short and create a second part instead? I don't know. Let me know your thoughts, questions, or what you like the most in this video in the comments. I would love to hear from you and don't miss the next one. See you later. Bye.